Nice.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Australian team press conference ahead of tomorrow's quarterfinal match against France that will be played here in Brisbane Stadium at 5 p.m. Before we start, as usual, we have interpretation in English, Channel 1, and French in Channel 2. And before we give you the floor, I'd just like to ask both head coach Tony Gustavsson and Ellie Carpenter, the player, for their impressions ahead of this very important match tomorrow here in Brisbane, please.
Yeah. I'm really excited. Tomorrow is probably one of the biggest games of our careers, and what better doing it tomorrow in front of our country, our nation. It's once in a lifetime opportunity for us. We couldn't be more ready. We're very excited, and France are a world-class opponent, but yeah, we know their strengths. We know what they can do, but it's a World Cup, and anything can happen, and we're ready.
And I feel they are ready. You look at the training as well and what they've done over the last couple of days here, or last couple of weeks. All the preparation that we've done. Being ready doesn't mean it's going to be easy. A quarterfinal in a World Cup is never easy. I had the privilege to be in 5 quarterfinals before this one, in 3 Olympics and 2 World Cups before this one. So this is 6 in a row now. And you get unhealthy addicted to these type of games. This is what you love. This is what you want. All the hard work that you put in, and see the players get the chance to experience this with you all in here and with the fans out there, and how they all unite around this team. I'm so happy for the players to get that experience tomorrow, and we're going to embrace every single second of it.
Thank you very much. And now we'll take questions from the floor. As usual, please raise your hand, state your name and media organization, and to whom you're asking the question. We can start over here.
Hello, question for Ellie, in French, sorry. Est-ce que c'est un match spécial pour toi, le fait que tu joues en France et de jouer contre l'équipe de France, où tu as des coéquipières en club qui évoluent? Merci.
Yeah, tomorrow is, I guess, extra special for me. Obviously, it's a quarterfinal, but playing against half my teammates, it gives me a little bit more insight, and obviously I know the players very well. And I think tomorrow is going to be a great game, a great battle, especially on the right-hand side for me, left-hand side for France. I think they're dominant on that side, world-class players. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the battle, especially against Selma. She's a great player, and you know, I train with her every day, and yeah, I just can't wait.
Tracy Holmes, ABC. Question for both of you. If you could you explain what the edge might be that France has and what edge there might be that you have over each other?
How much do we reveal here, Ellie?
Not sure.
I think they've proven over this tournament that they have extreme attacking threats, central, left, and right. They attack with numbers. They're brave, technical, fast. Doesn't hesitate to send a lot of numbers forward. Look at their goal scoring as well. The one thing that I think they really instilled going into this tournament is the work ethic when they lose the ball. They're extremely aggressive when they lose the ball. So you get very little time on the ball when you win it. I think that's going to be probably the edge they have over us, and that's going to be our #1 challenge to solve. What we have proven over this tournament is that our defensive structure and the defensive work rate have been enormous. We kept 5 clean sheets out of the last 6 games, not just thanks to a good goalkeeper and good backline, but a team effort in defending. But also we've been very, very composed in front of goal. Our final passes and our finishing has been clinical, if you look statistically as well. So, and then once we do break that pressure, we know how fast we can attack. And we have some players in tremendous form right now, and you want that when you go into quarterfinal. Individuals that in one moment can decide a game.
Emma Kemp, Sydney Morning Herald. Question for both of you. You had that friendly, obviously, before the tournament. It was a friendly. It's obviously different to tournament football, but, you know, the France camp have been very intent on saying it means absolutely nothing. Whereas, you know, some of your players have said, yeah, sure, it's different, but it's good that we have images of that, and it's good we know we can beat them, etc., etc. Is it mind games from them? Like, what do you take from what they've been saying?
Honestly, I didn't know that they had been saying that, but this is a World Cup. Anything can happen. Yes, we beat them 3 weeks ago. It's going to be a completely different game. Yes, we have that mentally over them, but tomorrow all that is out the window. You know, it's a completely different game, and we know that they're going to obviously show their toughest team. We know the strengths or weaknesses they have, and yeah, tomorrow is going to be completely different.
Back. Yeah.
Hi, Manny Jasmine from BBC. Question to both of you. Tony, what happens tonight? Have you said everything you want to say? Have you shown them everything you want to show them? Is the preparation complete, or will there be meetings? And Ellie, if there won't be any meetings about the match, what will the players do? Will you play games or just sit by yourselves, pray? I don't know. What will you do?
From a team perspective, match day -1 is always a morning meeting when we go through a summary of the game plan and some set plays to bring out to the training ground. You do some sharpening of what we already know in today's training session, short and sharp, and then some individual time where they can sharpen their own individual tools going into the game. And then at 7 p.m. match day -1, we always have a team meeting when we go through a lineup, some game management. We have some scenario talk about what if this happened, what if this happened, and the players are hugely involved in that. And then we once again go through the details of set plays. And then from tomorrow night until the kickoff, it's all about the players and their time. I very seldom talk to the team and players on game day because it's day to day. And I always say as a coach, if you want to approach players, do it before the game. If you haven't done it before game day, don't show your own stress to go to players. You need to think about this and this and this. That's normally a coach's own individual stress that they pass over to the players. Just trust the players on game day. So from tonight, 7 p.m. until kickoff, it's the players' time.
Yeah, and I think for us players, like we've prepared for every match of our careers, nothing changes tonight. We're not going to be doing anything drastically. We're just preparing for each match like we have. And obviously it's a big occasion tomorrow, but that doesn't change. It's just a game of football at the end of the day. So whatever every individual does tonight, what we've done the last 4 games is what we'll be doing.
Tom Smithies from Keep Up. Tony, your players have covered a lot of ground in this tournament. You haven't used that many substitutions. They've really racked up the minutes and the metres. Are you concerned that if the game is tight and it goes to extra time, that could count against you?
Not at all. Reason why is we're extremely fit. We've shown that. There's no coincidence that we have that running. I don't know if you looked into... So obviously the total meters is one thing, but what's really interesting is the high-speed meters and the sprints, and they were off the shots compared to some other competitors. We're fit, we're fast, we know that. If you look at the schedule that the players are playing now, it's nothing different than what they do in Clubland in terms of the games in amount of weeks. It's very similar, so they're used to it. And the funny thing with this team is every time we have some stats on this, every time we have shortened time between 2 games, they amp up the high-speed meters the game after. So the most intense game we have played so far in terms of sprint and high-speed meters was the game we have less recovery time. So they bounce back extremely well. And that's also a mindset thing. But I also want to say one more thing. It's also thanks to the fans. The way the fans support us during the games and the way how loud they are and carry us. We always play a pressing game and a high-octane game with a lot of sprints, a lot of running. And you need that encouragement when you start fatiguing a little bit. A player will always be tired at the end of the game, especially when you go to extra time, no matter how fit you are. But to push through that when you feel tired, you need the fans as well, especially as much as we run.
Hello, this is Renata from Brazil. I would like to ask you 2 questions. So one for Tony and one for Ellie. For Tony, I would like to ask you about how did you change the scenario in terms of the pressure you were feeling, the team was feeling after the 2 first games in this World Cup, and you changed this scenario to the 4-0 against Canada, a very difficult game. And for you, Ellie, I found out today that actually football has become the most popular sport between girls, and it's the most practiced sport between girls here in Australia. So if you can describe for us how it was when you were growing up, if it was like that, or if you were the only girl practicing football in your friends group, and how it has been this experience of, experiencing a World Cup at home, seeing a lot of girls waiting for you and trying to take pictures with you, and etc. Thank you.
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, I was with a boys' team. I didn't have a girls' team. I went and watched the Matildas play when I was 12 years old, and I think there was 300 people in the stadium. But that still wanted me to play for Australia. I still was dreaming to play on that pitch with the girls when 300 people were in the stand. And I think now if I was a 12-year-old in Stadium Australia and Suncorp watching sold-out crowds, like how amazing that is for them young girls, young boys to see that. How far we've come is just unimaginable. I'm so proud to be a part of this generation, that what we have done changed women's sport in Australia, not just football, but generally in sport. And our job this World Cup was to inspire the next generation, and hearing how many people are watching our games, coming to our games, having live sites around Australia. They're showing our game in 4 major stadiums, the game tomorrow, and that's just incredible. And when we rock up to the games and see everyone in our jerseys and screaming fans, it's touching, and honestly, it makes me a bit emotional because it's just so amazing. And this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to inspire the next generation and, pave the way for women's football in Australia.
How do you follow up on an answer like that? Wow, it says it all. Brilliant. When it comes to dealing with things from outside our circle, we didn't change anything. We kept true to who we are. We believed in our preparation. We did the exact same thing leading into the World Cup as during the World Cups. Whether it's been a win or a loss, we stick true to our processes. We evaluate our performances. I think the players have said it time after time in these type of press conferences as well, that we will always stay true to who we are, play our game and believe. And then in the beginning of the tournament, we asked for the belief from the outside, but now we also have earned the belief from the outside.
Thank you. Question for Ellie about both French forward. You know them pretty well. And what's your thought about the way they've played during the World Cup, and what is it going to take to stop them as a defender? Yeah, they've been playing great. Obviously, the last couple of games, I think Diani is in great form, obviously with her goals and assisting. Obviously, Eugenie as well, and Selma on the left. I think they're in great form. But I think for us, it's about sticking to our game plan. We know the job we need to do tomorrow, myself and the backline and the whole team, really. But yeah, we know it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be times where they have the ball. There's going to be times when we have the ball. It's just about staying in the moment, staying focused the whole 90 minutes.
Tony, Jess, Stuart, ABC News. Have you decided on your starting 11? And if you have, is there any concern in any way this week? Have you had any thoughts at all about bringing Sam Kerr? Will it disrupt the cohesion that this starting team has found in the last couple of weeks without her there?
The one thing that this team have shown over the last half a year is that no matter what lineup we start with or the lineup we finish with, they all know it takes 23 and 23, meaning everyone is ready to step on and off if need to. They've been amazing teammates supporting each other. There's been no complaints whatsoever in terms of if you start or come off the bench. They know their role and they play the role. And I definitely would never ever see Sam as a disturbance to the team. And I want to be very clear in here now to say if Sam is fit to play 90 minutes, she's starting. There's not even a question. And the team knows it. We're talking about Sam Kerr here. Whether she is ready to play 90 minutes plus extra time, that's to be decided tonight. But there's no question whatsoever that if she is, she's starting.
Question for both of you. Marcelo Corrêa from TV Globo Brazil. We've seen a press conference before yours from France, which that shows a lot about how French teams approach to matches like this, when they were asked about the pressure of the supporters here, they were saying that this is good for them. They enjoy playing, against the crowd. Hervé Renard, and also when they were asked about what does it mean to be in quarterfinals of a World Cup, Eugénie Le Sommer said that it's okay. It's not the most important match of her life. It's one of the most important matches of her life. So playing there in France. Do you understand, Ellie? How does it work mentally when they get to this stage of a competition? And what are your thoughts about an opponent like this?
Yeah, France are a world-class team. Their mentality is, if they at a quarter-final, that's not good enough for them. In their eyes, this is a failure if they don't go further. I know their mentality. Being in France for 3 years, they don't settle anything less than winning. If they don't win, they're a failure. So I know definitely their mentality, and yeah, for sure they're going to be confident tomorrow. They're France. Of course they're going to come out and show that they are confident. But that doesn't, bother us at all. We know we've played them recently, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, they're going to be it's going to be a tough game. It's anyone's game tomorrow. But really, when it comes into knockout football in the World Cup, I think it comes down to who wants it the most and who's passionate and who really wants to give it their all. And like Tony said, it's not about the 11 on the field. It's about the people that come on, do their job. It's who's got that fight, who's got that aggressiveness. That's what it comes down to in these sort of games.
I had experience playing France in quarterfinal in 19 in France, and I know how that can feel. I think Ellie is onto something here. It's going to be a French team that comes out very, very confident when the game starts and going to go all in on attacking and be aggressive. But I also know it's a very, very big occasion for them, and they're under tremendous amount of pressure considering what they want to achieve in this tournament, and they'll be pretty clear of what they want to achieve as well. For our sake, playing in front of a home crowd, we've said it from day one. We feel the support and belief. We don't even feel the pressure. We feel we're carried by the supporters in the stands, and how loud they've been in the last games as well has been amazing. And I'll say it again: be as loud as you can tomorrow and carry this team so they can run those extra meters when it's needed, even in extra time. And then in a quarterfinal, all it takes is one moment. Just look at the recent quarterfinal live. If you watch that, all it takes is one moment. Holland has a clear chance from scoring a minute before Spain scores and can win the game in that one moment. And then the attack goes the other way and it's 2-1 to Spain. So all it takes is one moment. So you need to focus every single second of a quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Sorry. Mark Gottlieb, 9 News Australia. Ellie, this is a question for you. By a quirk of fate, there's 4 members of the squad who came from Westfield Sports High. What did that school mean to you, and how did it prepare you for a life as a professional footballer?
Yeah, for me it was a great school for my development in football. It definitely helped me to where I am today. I have to praise the coaches there, the staff, also the S&C there. They really know what they're doing, and it's a great pathway for football in Australia. Like you can see, 4 of us are in the team that attended the school, so they're doing something right. But no, it was a great time when I was young, developing, and they're a great school.
Yeah, in the back.
It's me. Sorry, we've just been sitting back here. Hello both, Laura Spurway from Channel 7. Just a quick question, Tony. So does that mean you've got that other fun medical meeting tonight before you can decide if Sam can play 90 minutes, the one that you've been enjoying every match -1? And also, obviously, if she comes in, that means someone goes out. So how do you have those conversations, and are those players already aware that that's what the situation will look like if she's fit for the 90?
First of all, the meeting tonight is going to be a very positive one. We had 23 players in training today for the first time in the World Cup, which was amazing to see everyone out there training. So that's going to be a very positive meeting, which also challenged me in some decision making. I've said it before, it's not easy because a lot of people deserve to start. In terms of who comes off, I don't speak to the players in advance of that because we need to play the game in front of us. So it all depends on what it looks like. Do we need to go to a double 9 and going for a goal scenario like we did against Nigeria? Do we need to go to a back 5 like we did against Ireland when Pope's coming in? Is someone getting tired and we need fresh legs? Is someone having a great game or a not so good game? So those game changer that comes in and the finishing lineup all depends on what game we have in front of us. And the players have been amazing on that. And the one thing I want to credit the game changer for is they actually play the game from the bench. They watch the game and play it. So when they come in, they know what kind of momentum, what kind of game is it. So not just sit there as a spectator watching it and supporting. They're actually playing the game from the bench. So they know exactly what they're coming into as well, which is very, very important. So you're mentally prepared on what kind of game you're coming on to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anna Harrington, AAP. Ellie, we've heard the French team, their coach, their players talk about 2019 and the pressure they felt, and I think they've tried to maybe project that onto this and talk about the pressure you guys are under. Claire Hunt said yesterday that you're taking it on board in a positive sense. It's not a negative cloud. How have you tried to handle that? And I guess with the crowd, do you hope you get that little bit of maybe parochial, hostile crowd that we saw in Sydney and Melbourne come out again tomorrow?
Yeah, honestly, being honest, I love the pressure, and I think we love the pressure, and we turn that into, look around, all these people in this stadium are cheering for us. You know, we don't take it on as pressure. We take it as, look at this. It's such a privilege being able to play at home in front of 50, 70, 30,000 odd people watching us, cheering us on, and that only helps us. You know, that's our 12th player on the field, and I cannot stress enough, honestly, throughout the game when, you know, if you're going through a tough period and we don't have the ball for a bit and the crowd gets in, it really, really helps us. So tomorrow, Brisbane, we know that you will be loud because last game against Nigeria, it was incredible. So please, tomorrow, be loud. And, yeah, it's no pressure at all. It's honestly a privilege, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything than playing that game tomorrow. And, yeah, this is why we play football, is for these games.
Vince Regari, Sydney Morning Herald. I'll ask one to both of you. Ellie, I remember asking you in pre-camp about how the French sort of underestimated Australian football, and then you went back to your club after the England game and that sort of shut them up a little bit. I'm just wondering what you think they might be thinking after the last 2 games from the Matildas. And Tony, you mentioned 23 on the pitch today. Kai Simon had boots on, which was wonderful to see. Is she ready to play? And the fact that you'd throw her into a game towards the end, potentially extra time and all that, it's an enormous amount of pressure to put on one player. Obviously, you believe she's equipped to handle that?
Yeah, obviously, I think France will be confident tomorrow, but I also think in the back of their mind, like Tony said earlier, they'll be feeling the pressure. They went out in the quarterfinals last World Cup in their home, so they'll be wanting to do one better. I don't think they'll be underestimating us at all. They'll be very confident. Yeah, like Tony said, they're under the pressure as well, and for us, we're not pressured. We're just going to play our football.
When it comes to Kaya, I was asked the question earlier this tournament if I regret selecting her, and I was very clear to say I was never going to regret selecting her. She's here for a very, very clear reason. She's been an extreme resource and a positive energizer for this team in the locker room, in the training ground, and her experience also for the young players handling pressure situations. She's been very, very good for us, even off the field. When it comes to on the field, I'm going to listen to the recommendation of the medical team tonight, whether she's available for playing time or not, and also a PK. Yes, there's a lot of pressure, but the one thing Kaya have shown in the past is that she really embrace and love those moments. And if she steps on, it's all on me, not on her. It's on me for letting her come on, having that little minutes on. So if for some reason she wouldn't succeed, it's on me, not on her.
Yannick Spate, Deutsche Welle. A question for Tony. You came in for quite a bit of criticism and scrutiny after the Nigeria loss. Does that bother you at all that when the team wins, the players get most of the credit, and when the team loses, you seem to come in for quite a lot of criticism? Or do you actually quite like that arrangement because it takes a bit of pressure off the players and lets them do what they do best?
I think it's the role of any coach and any leader to take the hits when the team needs to have one take the hits. I think it should be that way. I also think, I've said that from day one, I am such a small part of a bigger mean here. This is more than 90-minute football, and I play a very small part of it. So what the team have done in terms of the performance they do is all the hard work that they've done over decades, all the investment they've done, all my support staff. We said it before, we also play to represent the Matilda alumni and the DNA of this team. And I can maybe feel at times that I understand the head coach is in the center of it, like press conferences like this. But for me, it's not about me. It is about the players. And I will always be there to protect them, whatever they need. It's my job. And I'm going to do everything I can to help roll out that red carpet for them to walk on so they can focus only on football and the performance. It's my job.
Hi, Ellie, a niche question for you. I've noticed throughout the tournament, you and many of your teammates have had Superfly nails. And I'm wondering if there is any sort of like team ritual for those who like to participate in like a pregame manicure, and just generally what the role of that sort of presentation and expression plays for you.
Yeah, I think the girls that like to have their nails done, we all like to do a theme, and I probably would be a bit of the ringleader in that. I love my nails. I do a different pattern every game. Obviously the green and gold, and yeah, I think it's whatever the player wants, and if they do, and yeah, I think it's great that everyone has green and gold nails.
At the back.
A question for Tony. Hervé, in his press conference just before, he was very complimentary of this team. He said, when he was asked how he expected you guys to play, he said he expects you to wait for them to do something. He then followed that with how strong Australia is on transition. But do you expect in that sense that you may have to absorb quite a lot of pressure at the start? You did that quite well against Denmark. Are you expecting that again?
Looking into how France play and have played throughout this tournament and the last time we played them, even though we want to be a pressing team, we want to be well organized in our mid-block, but when there's a chance to press, we really want to press. We want to do it collectively and aggressively so that we can win the ball playing forward quickly. But against a team like France, you will be forced to defend in a low block at times, whether you want it or not, and you need to be disciplined to do it. The way they changed the point with the long-range passing and the combination out wide, when the double out wide on both sides and the numbers to send forward, sometimes you need to be ready for it. We showed that we could handle that when we played Spain in Tournament of Nations. We showed we can handle it when we played England. We showed we handle it when we played Canada in bits and pieces of that game. We showed it to handle it against France. So I think this team is ready to play the game in front of them. Obviously, we want to press if we can. If we can't, we're ready to protect the space when need be. But the number one moment then is when you do win that ball a little bit deeper, is how you solve that regain press. Because if you then get wave after wave against you, finally you crack and it's a goal. So we had a period against Canada, to be honest, in the middle of the first half. We had like a 10-12 minute period. We couldn't get out. We were under tremendous a lot of pressure, not because our defending wasn't solid, but our ball movements when we won it wasn't quick enough, and we kept getting dispossessed, which was something that was brilliant in the other 60 minutes against Canada and against Denmark as well. If you look at how we transition in the diagonal and get out of pressure, and how Mary and EVE linked, and then Caitlin and Rasso got in. If we can get that right, I think we can hurt that back line tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you at the match tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.